Welcome back, guys. It's Kid Swimming Playground here, and today we're back in the video in Scratch, and today we'll be making the 5th part of the Hero War game. So if you have not checked out the first 4 parts, go check that out on our channel, and that'll just get us to where we are right now. So today we're going to try to work on the speedy enemy and the armored enemy, and maybe the boss. The speedy enemy is fairly simple. Just drag all the code right into here, and then we'll just alter it as needed. So just like that. So the first change that we're going to make is make this wait pick random 2 to 4 seconds so it spawns slower, and then it'll set zombie HP to 100. But we're actually going to rename this zombie HP because it's only for this zombie HP right here is only for the speedy enemy. So to not get confused, we're going to change it to speedy enemy. It's a speedy HP. Just like that. And then it'll set speedy HP to 100 and all that. Okay. So when I start as a clone, instead of moving 2 steps, I move 6 steps because it's a fast enemy. So we're gonna change the code a little bit here. So if it touches any type of projectile, so let's delete that. Touches any type of projectile, then it will broadcast delete arrow. So let's just throw this all away. We'll broadcast delete arrow, change score by 1, and then delete this clone. And then since we have any type of projectile, we can go throw all of this away. You see hero selected 2, hero selected 3 can all go. And now we're going to work on the first ability. Hero selected 1. It will change score by 1 and delete this clone. If it's touching the second ability, which is the death arrow, it will change score by 1. It'll broadcast delete arrow and delete this clone. Then if it's touching the first ability and hero selected is equal to 2, that's just the teleport, so same code. And if it's touching the second ability and hero selected is equal to 2, it'll also die by the lightning no matter what. So we're just going to change that. Change score by 1. So when it's touching the apprentice's star, we don't need any of that. We just don't need that either. It would just be like that. It would change score by 1 and delete this clone. So for the apprentice's star. And if it's touching the second ability and hero selected to 3, which is the fairy escape arrow, it would just change score by 1 and delete this clone. And if it's touching the third ability and hero selected is 3, which is the defender shield, it will just change score by 1 and delete this clone. And if it's touching the player, then it will actually we're gonna have a new set hit player. So we're gonna set, make a variable, hit player speedy. So each of them have their own hit damage and damage stuff. So set hit player speedy to Y. Then after that, it will broadcast hit player. So yeah, that's the speedy code. But we're also gonna have this when the green flag is clicked, it will switch costume to costume 1, just in case if it doesn't switch. It's because it can get killed when it's like on its second form, so that's why you wanna have it like that. So to make it die when it touches you, we're actually gonna make it so it will delete this clone after it touches them. So we're gonna put a delete this clone over here and take out the forever loop, just like that. The forever loop is optional because I tried it and it works for both times, but so you can put a forever or you don't have to. So I'm just gonna put it. It doesn't really matter. So that should be the speedy enemy, and that's how it should work. So when it touches you, it dies just like that. So it just kind of like just runs at you and tries to kill you with all its might. And yeah, so that's the speedy enemy. So now let's work on the armored enemy. Oh, let's actually see if the speedy enemy dies first. Yeah, see, look, if I touch the projectile, it dies. So yeah, now let's work on the armored enemy. So let's drag this all into the armored enemy. Just like that. And we're just going to alter a few things. So, we have the armored enemy over here. So when I start as a clone, all of that, but instead it'll move 0.5 steps. It's a lot slower. And it won't delete this clone when it touches you. So when the green flag is clicked, it's just like that. And then when I start as a clone, we're gonna rename this speedy HP, which is for the armored enemy, to armored HP. Armored HP. So, and it will set armored HP to 1000. So armored enemies have 1000 health. Repeat until touching player. Wait 0.5 seconds. And then after that, let's see if we have to alter anything else. And it'll pick random instead of 2 to 4 seconds, so that'd be way too hard. We made it 9 to 11 seconds for its spawning. And then, so when I start as a clone, forever, if it's touching, so this is actually going to be different. So if touching projectile, so let's actually duplicate this. If touching projectile and hero selected, projectile, and hero selected is equal to 1, it will, instead of doing just dying from one arrow, it will change armored HP by minus 180 because this is the first hero. And after that, it will broadcast delete arrow. And then we're going to have the if then. If then, you need an or. If then armored HP is equal to 0. Armored HP is equal to 0. Or is less than 0. Is less than 0, then it will change score by 10 and delete this clone. So that's just for the first hero. For the second hero, we can just do the same thing. Just duplicate this, put it under, and then if it's touching hero select is equal to 2, they'll change armored HP by minus 250. And then it's going to delete the arrow and it'll change score by 10. So same thing. And then now we'll do the fairy queen. So put it under. And hero select is equal to 3. Then it will change armored HP by minus 60. Broadcast delete arrow. Change score by 10. Delete this clone. So now we have that. We're going to add this whole hunk of code in here. But we can just duplicate this because it's easier because it just won't die from one ability. So let's put this under. So if it's touching the first ability and hero selected is equal to 1, which is the spectral arrow, then it will change armored HP by minus 100. Since it passes through it many times, it'll actually do more damage than that. And then it'll change score by 10. Oh yeah, no delete arrow here. So just like that. And then now we're gonna continue with that. So if it's touching if it's touching the second ability of hero selected 1, so let's just move this up a little bit. If it's touching the second ability and hero selected is equal to 1, then it will broadcast delete arrow. So let's just take that from here. Change score by 10, and then delete this clone. So death arrow just kills anything. And then now, we don't need that. So let's move on to here. So if it's touching the first ability and hero selected is equal to 2, which is the teleport back, then we're going to change this up. So we need a if then, and we need a if then. So if then, the costume number, is equal to 1. So if you teleport the dude when he has his armor on, then it'll switch costume to costume 4, which is this one, because it'll teleport like that. And if you dismantle his armor, then it'll teleport back like that. So if you dismantle his armor, then it'll teleport back like that. So that's why it has to be different. So if its touches costume number is equal to 1, then it'll wait 0.1 seconds. Let's just duplicate that. Wait 0.1 seconds, move negative 150 steps, wait 0.3 seconds, and switch costume back to costume 1. Now we're going to have another equals. If then costume number is equal to 2, then it will switch costume to costume 5, which is the one without the armor. So if you want to teleport it after you dismantle his armor, just like that. So in costume 5, it'll wait 0.1 seconds, and it'll switch back to costume 2, which is the dismantled armor costume. So yeah, since we have that, if it's touching the second ability and hero selected is equal to 2, since it's so strong against the armored enemies, it'll do negative 850 damage to it, but it cannot kill it. So even if you use 2 lightnings on it, it won't kill it. So I did that on purpose, so it's kind of like a different ability. So it'll switch costume to costume 2, it'll dismantle its armor. So if it's touching the apprentice's star, let's actually take this code from up here. So let's take this right here. So if it's touching the apprentice's star, then it will change armored HP by minus 400. Oh, not plus 400. Minus 400. And then it'll broadcast delete apprentice's star. And then if it's equal to 0 or less than 0, change score by 10. So if it's touching the second ability and hero select is equal to 3, which is the fairy teleport, it'll just change score by 10 and delete this clone. So the fairy teleport is really strong. And then we're gonna, for the third ability, we're gonna have some difference. So it will move negative 150 steps. So the third ability is the defender's ship that teleports everyone back when they touch it. Move negative 150 steps. It will change armored HP by minus 400. It will switch costume to costume 3. It will wait 0.2 seconds. 0.2 seconds. Then it'll switch costume back to costume 1. And we're gonna take this script over here. So if this one, if armored HP is equal to 0 or less than 0, they'll change score by 10 and delete this clone. So put it right there. And then if it's touching the player, to make a new variable, hit player armored. So if it's touching a player, it'll set hit player armored to Y and broadcast hit player. And since it won't die when you touch it, when it touches the player, it'll move negative 20 steps instead. So yeah, that should be the code for the armored enemy. And to finish off this video, we'll do the player taking damage. So let's actually do that now. So when I receive hit player, then it will, if then, who need an equal sign, if then hit player zombie is equal to Y, then it'll change lives by minus 15. And then we will, if then, hit player speedy, is equal to Y, then we change lives by negative 20. If hit player armored equals y, then we'll change lives by -25. So those are the main two characters. And then there's also the peons, there's the bosses, but we'll get that in the next video. And then after that, it will set hit player zombie to N. It'll set hit player speedy to N. And set hit player armored to N. So, and then we'll add all the other ones later. So let's just close some of the variables real quick. Just like that. Oh yeah, let's just close these over here. Speedy HP. Zombie HP. And let's see if our game works. So let's just move these up here. So yeah, let's see if it works. So yeah, it seems like our game is working. So I'm gonna try out, let's try the Grandmaster Mage. Let's full screen this. So as you can see, the speedy enemy just hit me. I'm at 980 lives. I can shoot them. They can hit me. So let's just shoot them. Let's see how much damage the zombie does. 15. I can shoot them. Let's see how much the armored zombie does, if we can get close enough. Let's see if the power-ups work on them. So that's the teleport power-up, you see. And then we have the lightning. Lightning. And then we can have teleport them back without their armor. Oh my gosh. And then our power-up 3, the turret. And we're shooting them. Yeah. So yeah, it seems to be working. All the zombies are spawning. They're taking damage. They're doing the right thing. So yeah. Alright. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below what else games that you want to see later. And I'll see you guys next time.